Western Mass News 11 at 11.
Statewide efforts to expand access to higher education are currently underway in the Bay State, and that's according to the state secretary of the Department of Education earlier today. But those state-initiated programs aren't the only ones trying to help a future generation earn degrees. Welcome to Western Mass News 11 at 11. I'm Abby Carnevale, and Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson is live for us in studio. Maria, how are organizations creating a stronger pipeline to higher education in Springfield?
Well, Abby, in their goal to make higher education more accessible for all, American International College opened their doors today to welcome and educate a number of parents on what opportunities exist for their young ones well after high school.
We're here and available to help young people in terms of closing the achievement gap.
American International College and other local organizations aiming to close the education gap here in the Bay State.
It's all about access and opportunity. AIC is founded on those values.
Tuesday's event coming on the heels of the Commonwealth's State of Education Summit.
We are reimagining high school through pathway programs, empowering high school students with engaging, applied learning experiences before they graduate. We also expanded the early college program, which now supports more than 8,200 high school students this school year with earning college credits.
College attendance rates in the Bay State are on the rise. Undergraduate enrollment in Massachusetts was up nearly 3% last year, the state's first bump in attendance in a decade. But even with attendance numbers on the rise, American International College President Hubert Benitez says barriers still exist.
There is no question that education is the pathway to success, and we want to bring and open the doors of this institution.
President Benitez telling Western Mass News Tuesday's event aims to educate future high school grads and their families on the next steps towards earning a degree.
Today we're going to explore what does it take to come into higher education. Entering college can be a daunting process for many. Today, we want to alleviate that pressure and that concern.
And local organizations like the Coalition of Experienced Black Educators are also stepping in to help.
I'm pressing upon our families and the community about the importance of educational preparation for our students, beginning really in the homes and in the schools.
And today's event wasn't the first of its kind. American International College also held this same event last year. Dr. Benitez also telling us that it takes a village when it comes to preparing young people for college. He says it starts with the caregivers also knowing about what's out there. Reporting live in studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.